Well, Julie here from RV Tips and Bits. I want to talk about today about going from a Class A motorhome. We had a 34-foot Southwind Fleetwood and decided to downsize to what we thought was going to be a leisure travel van, a Class B plus, and ultimately we have gone with a Class C. Some of the things I wanted to highlight was why would we do that? What things did we learn? With the Class A, it was a 2018. Many of them come out with now residential refrigerators. We love to go dry camping, and that was quite a challenge to figure out how to dry camp and keep the residential refrigerator going without draining the batteries all night long, especially in the cold if you're out there with the temperatures dropping. So anyways, with the Class A, we've learned that there's a lot of room, a lot of storage. It's very impressive when you go look at them and everything that you can put in them, all the room inside with the slide outs. But over time we learned that I started just taking things on the outside storage for what we needed for that camping trip, and I had a lot of empty bins. And the inside, we found that we had clothes in there and items that we were storing that we weren't even using for multiple months, even after multiple camping trips. Until you really start taking everything out and saying, wow, I didn't even know I had this much stuff. It's like moving out of a house. So then we started looking at, the restrictions of going to certain size campgrounds and, not being able to get in, not to mention, how big it is for driving. It was gas, it wasn't diesel. So definitely went through a lot of expense with keeping it full. With gasoline, and of course when you store it you always want to keep the tank completely full to prevent any moisture build up. So then we started looking at the Class B plus, the leisure travel van, and even though it was expensive, we really want to stay with high quality. But we just kept thinking, is it just too small? Is there enough room up there with just the two booths? I don't know if you're familiar with leisure travel van, but they have some nice setups, but it is narrow. It's even in the B plus, the Unity, walking by each other if you have a dog. It is, something you really would have to adjust to. And not to mention, the one we were looking at was the new RL. The storage outside was very limited, but I really wasn't too worried about that because again, I'm in the mindset of only really taking what you really need to take. So easy to build up, and the more cabinets you have, the more you're just going to fill them. But then, long story short, is we changed our mind 6 times, even within the Unity, the Serenity line, and ultimately we ended up coming across the Entegra Qwest 2020. The new leisure travel vans come out with the Mercedes Sprinter 2020, which is a huge difference on the chassis. At first, the salesperson will tell you if you're looking at like a 2019 that has the 2018 chassis, oh, not that big of a deal, a few different things. This is a perfectly good model. I swear they tell you anything they can tell you just to have you buy it. But with research and learning about the differences, it is huge. If you're going to go with anything nearly new, you want to get 2019 or above on the Mercedes Sprinter chassis. Anyways, the sticker price on the leisure travel van was $157,000. They were discounting at La Mesa for $4,000. You couldn't really find much of a discount, never mind acquire a unit within 2, 3, 4 months at least. Some of them are on order for 9, 10, 11, 12 months. And so we were settled in on that. But then when we came across went back to the showroom recently, and they had all the new 2020s out there, and the Entegra Qwest is the one that we looked at, the 24L. My God, we were just like sitting there thinking, there's a $47,000 difference. Sticker price still the same, MSRP. Actually, the Qwest was 160 something thousand, but they had them marked down for 100,000, and which at La Mesa, that's an incredible deal because even anywhere online they're 119 and above. And then we're trying to justify, you know, a $47,000 difference. Actually, it was more than that. Now the Quest didn't come with the solar. It didn't come. It only had a 1,000-watt inverter, and it had the lead acid batteries. But I'm very familiar with all those, with all the research that I've done. And I added that up, researched if I had to put that in. I actually found a deal with Go Power, which is known for solar and inverters with RVs, for $3,700, a 570-watt extreme solar kit, the panels that go on the top versus the Flex. Been reading that the Flex don't last as long as the panels, even though they're not as intrusive on top of the unit. But I've also heard that they're adhesive on the top too. So if you have to replace them, I don't know, it could be kind of messy. I don't know too much about that yet, but we'll show that later. Anyways, a 3,000-watt inverter versus a 2,000-watt with the Leisure Travel Van. I already have the AGM batteries I'm taking from the Class A. Adds $5,000, including installation. So I'm at 100,000 plus 5,000. And I'm trying to decide $47,000 difference. I mean, the Entegra has the European high shine cabinets. It has the exact same floor. You know, it has that marine new floor, which we'll see how that works out with dirt and that kind of thing. I'm not sure if that's going to be easy to clean, but either way, it's apples to apples to the Leisure Travel Van. So anyways, we finally have made our decision. We are excited. We pick it up on October 31st, and I will show it when we get it. 4 days later, we will have the Go Power kit installed, and I'm going to show a big video on all that and how that took place. So please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification, and you'll see when that comes out. I will be posting things weekly to show just RV tips and bits and everything I've learned, which is a lot through research, and I've owned 6 RVs. So we have a lot to tell and then also learn ahead. So if there's anything you're interested in, please let me know, and I will also do the research on that. All right, thank you. We're excited. Hope you stay tuned for what we get.